Yate everyone, Sha'e Deone Newell and Ishia, Trachi Nishle, Na Hitli, Bashishi, Belegana Dashache, Na Hitli Dashanelle. I am from the Navajo Nation. I am of Diné, Ghanaian and Creole descent. And today has really reminded me of how incredible storytelling is. I'm currently on Tongva territory, otherwise known as Los Angeles. And what drew me to this conversation or this space was being able to share space with others who really see the power of storytelling. And a story that comes to mind is one that I have felt in my dreams recently that have come to me, and one that has stayed with me since I was about 3 years old. And it just reminds me of how connected I've always been to Mother Earth and how much she holds for us and the way that she holds us. And the story is about my great grandmother and I sheep herding together when I was very young. And I didn't actually realize for a long time that she was in her 80s when we were sheep herding together, and she always just looked very strong. She always seemed like someone who was young at heart, and her connection to the earth really allowed her to impart that youth to me. And I think a lot of where I draw my strength is the wisdom and her knowledge of plants and our connection to them. We were out sheep herding once when I was 3, and I remember her picking some Navajo tea, and she said that she was going to use this for my little brother's cough to start to clear that up because he had been sick for a number of days. And we walked a few more feet, and she started picking some other plants that she wanted to use as dye for the wool that she was working on coloring for the weaving that she was doing, because she was working on a blanket for my uncle. And it's just amazing to have shared those experiences with someone who was so in tune with everything around her. And I'm just so grateful and feel blessed to have that wisdom in my DNA and in my consciousness and my experience in this life, because it's so natural to me, and I didn't realize that it isn't natural to everyone. And I'm starting to unlearn a lot of my assimilation that has happened throughout my adulthood, and really just working on remembering from an ancestral perspective, remembering from a conscious level, and then just remembering in my body what it feels like to be in that connection.
In incorporating that work in the containers that I hold, I realized that so much of Western society does not have any initiation for womanhood, for manhood. The divine feminine I have seen is under attack in a lot of ways. And I am really trying to allow women to see what it's like when they do get that space, when they are supported in that way, um, when they're allowed to be vulnerable and be at their lowest and be seen in their highest glory. I know that so much of the healing that's needed is associated with different rites of passage. And when it's done in a way that is supported and commemorated and really announced to the entire community is not shameful, but a beautiful process. Men don't see this process as, gross or disgusting, and boys at school don't make fun of high school girls for having this ceremony. And I'm really thankful that I was able to participate in it and be a part of the ceremony, sing the medicine songs that the medicine man taught to all of us during that process. And I realized that we as a society have lost the connection with Mother Earth as well. I had to reconcile a lot of pain and joy within my body because I realized, or I suddenly realized, what I had missed out on. And I also acknowledged how incredibly joyful I felt. And I felt my grandmother celebrating me because she could finally see that I had realized how valuable and sacred the ceremony was and what it does for women when they are supported in this way by community.